Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has made claims before and during the UN Climate Summit in Dubai, but what can we confirm? Well, Moe says he's joined by Saskatchewan and Canadian oil and gas companies at the summit. He's at COP28, he says, to tell the world about that industry here.
Canada has the safest and the most reliable, as well as the most environmentally sustainable oil production that you can find on Earth. In fact, if all of the oil producing countries in the world adopted environmental regulations similar to what we have in Saskatchewan, greenhouse gas emissions from oil production globally would be cut by more than 25% overnight.
But researchers don't agree with all of the claims he's been making, including the claim that if other countries followed Saskatchewan's regulations, global greenhouse gas emissions would drop by 25%. The province says that's drawn from a 2018 research article, but news reports about that article were corrected in April because the information was misreported. One environmental studies researcher says that is among the claims that are inaccurate.
It's absolutely patently false that Saskatchewan has a good record on the sort of environmental sustainability of its oil and gas industry.
The province was unable to provide a comment about the article on Monday, but it says it has implemented a plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from flaring by 40 to 45% in 2025. Moe has also said federal oil and gas methane regulations would kneecap the oil and gas industry. The first planned amendments would come into force in 2027. They're supposed to help the country reduce emissions by 75% by 2030, compared with 2 decades prior. A policy expert says Moe's comment is somewhat accurate because the cap will likely lead to a higher carbon price compared with other sectors. Alaz Manzoor says it's possible to meet the caps while still increasing profit, depending on the international market.
I think the fact that it is on emissions, not on production, helps protect the oil and gas sector's competitiveness partially by giving this flexibility on how they actually comply.
Munzer also says the government also has to be aware of regional fairness for emission targets. Canada's oil and gas production creates the most greenhouse gas emissions in the nation, and Saskatchewan is one of its largest producers. The policy, Munzer says, has to take this into account. Dane Patterson, CBC News, Saskatoon.